بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the enrichment. So today we'll be taking the Unit 1 grammar lesson. The objectives for today to explain the reason for using infinitive or gerund. So we'll be taking gerunds and infinitives. Use the gerund after the correct verbs. Use the infinitive after the correct verbs. Rewrite a sentence using gerund or infinitive. Write a sentence according to a picture. So we'll be seeing some pictures, then we'll be writing sentences about them. Choose the correct verb for a sentence. Use gerunds after verbs. Use infinitives after verbs. So let's jump to the lesson here. Of course, you are familiar with the ing form of verbs with the progressive verbs. Coming, going, sleeping, studying, and so on. Of course, you are familiar with the ing connected to the verbs in the progressive form. The ing form can also be used as a noun. It's not necessarily a verb. It can be used also as a noun. When an ing form is used as a noun, it is called a gerund. So when the verb in the ing form is used as a noun, it's used as a noun, this is called a gerund. For example here, we're eating more organic fruits now. So we're eating more organic fruits now. I prefer eating organic foods. Again, we're eating more organic fruits now. I prefer eating organic foods. The first sentence, eating, is part of the present progressive verb are eating. So the first one is a verb. We're eating more. This is explaining what you are doing now. So this is a verb. We're eating more organic fruits now. The first sentence, eating, is part of the present progressive verb are eating. In the second sentence, I prefer eating organic foods. Eating is used as a noun. I prefer eating organic foods. So eating here is a noun, not a verb, because nothing is happening here. It answers the question what. It answers the question what after the verb prefer. So after the verb prefer. So prefer eating. So let's jump to the grammar itself now. Gerunds after verbs. Gerunds, the ing form, after verbs. So gerunds are the ing form of a verb. They act like nouns. So they are not nouns in themselves. They act like nouns and answer the question what. For example here, I recommend turning off the lights when you leave the room. So I recommend, this is the verb here, I recommend turning off, this is the gerund here, the lights when you leave the room. Our class enjoys learning about ways to help the environment. So our class enjoys, this is the verb here, this is the verb here, enjoys, our class enjoys learning. So this is the verb here, enjoys, and this is the gerund with the ing here, enjoys about ways to help the environment. So we can use gerunds after certain verbs such as, so all of these are just examples and not the whole verbs, such as advice, begin, can't stand, consider, continue, enjoy, finish, go, hate, imagine, intend, keep, like, love, prefer, quit, recommend, start, stop, and suggest. So all of these verbs come before the gerund, or you can say the gerund come after these verbs. You can say I enjoy playing, I intend going, I quit smoking, and so on. Infinitives after verbs. If you remember the infinitive, an infinitive is to plus the base form of the verb. So remember the infinitive, which is two parts, to, then the base form of the verb. Like gerunds, infinitives also act like nouns and answer the question what. For example here, don't forget to reuse the plastic container. Or do they intend to buy a hybrid car? So the verbs here, forget and intend, came before the infinitive to reuse or to buy a hybrid car. So we use infinitives after certain verbs, just like the gerund, such as agree, ask, attempt, begin, can't stand, continue, decide, expect, forget, hate, intend, learn, like, love, need, offer, plan, prefer, promise, remember, start, try, and want. Of course, you can notice that there are some verbs here that they are in the gerund also, so you can choose. For example, like love, like, hate, intend, and so on. Some verbs are shared with the gerunds or the infinitives. And these marks, the stars, these verbs can be followed by an object before the infinitive. For example, they want to plant a garden. You can put a subject before the infinitive. They want us to plant a garden. So the verbs such as ask, expect, need, want, you can put an object before the infinitive. For example, when I say, I want you to go and get me something. So you can put a subject before you say the infinitive. So look at the questionnaire on page 16 to find more examples of infinitives and gerunds. Let's turn to page 16 here and look for example of infinitives and gerunds. If you remember here, they listen and discuss. How green are you? How green are you? So try to look for here for infinitives and gerunds. Can you locate them here? Okay, let's see here the first one. Yes, what do you do when you finish using your computer? Finish using. So using here is, of course, a gerund. Other example here, of course, there are many examples. For example here, I wouldn't consider also using. So finish using and also consider using. Can you get some examples here on the second page here? Can you get some examples here? For example here, for instance, do you prefer eating? What kind of fruits and vegetables do you prefer eating? Of course, also the answer here, I prefer eating fruits. So prefer comes before gerund. Also before the infinitive, prefer to eat. So prefer is one of the verbs I was just talking about that is shared between the gerund and the infinitive. You can say prefer eating, or you can say prefer to eat fruits or organic fruits. Can you locate some examples here also in this part of the article or the questionnaire here? For example, yes, I hate being hot. Hate also is one of the verbs that are shared with gerunds and infinitives. So I hate being hot. This one is a gerund. Also, yes, do you try to conserve water? Do you try, this is the verb here, to conserve, this is the infinitive, of course, water. So also here, I try to be aware. So try comes before the infinitive. Also here, I try hard to conserve water. So all of these are examples of gerunds and infinitives. Some verbs can be followed by either an infinitive or a gerund, just as we spoke before. The meaning of the sentence with these verbs is almost the same with either the gerund or infinitive. So they are almost similar in meaning. We can say, for example, either I love studying or I love to study. One slight difference is that the person is more likely to use the gerund at the moment of doing the activity. So notice here is more likely. So there is no right or wrong here. It's just that using gerund is more likely preferable to use here. Again, one slight difference is that the person is more likely, it's better to use the gerund, the ing form, when at the moment of doing the activity. If you are at the moment of doing that activity, it's preferable to use the gerund. It's not wrong to use the infinitive, but it's better, it's preferable to use the gerund form. Exercise A here. Exercise A, circle the correct verb forms. Sometimes both the gerund and the infinitive are possible. Of course, we know that. So the first one, do you want? So this is the verb. Want, do we say having or to have a positive impact on the environment? So, number 1, do you want, having or to have? Yes, of course, want comes before the infinitive. Do you want to have a positive impact on the environment? I suggest, so the verb here is suggest, these steps a try. So, giving, yes, so suggest come before the gerund. Do you hate, so the verb hate here, throwing or to throw away old clothes in the garbage? Number 3 is very good, both of them. Do you hate throwing or do you hate to throw? Both of them are correct. Away old clothes in the garbage. Consider, what about the verb consider? Do we say consider giving or consider to give clothes? The answer is yes, the gerund, of course. Consider giving clothes to clothes that no longer fit you to other people who can wear them. Number 5, quit to use or using disposable batteries. Quit, yes, using, quit using disposable batteries. Begin, so is it using or to use? Of course, it's both of them because begin comes with both gerund and infinitive. Begin using or to use rechargeable batteries. Number 7 here, learn buying or to buy products with less packaging. Learn to buy products with less packaging. Attempt, what about the verb attempt? Does it come with a gerund or infinitive? Attempt buying or attempt to buy large containers of water, juice, and soda instead of individual serving size containers. So number 8 is, yes, attempt to buy. So attempt comes with the infinitive. Number 9 here, learn. What about the verb learn? Do we say learn avoiding or to avoid or both of them? It's just to avoid, the infinitive. Learn to avoid creating trash whenever possible. For example, when ordering food, avoid taking, avoid to take, avoid taking, of course, avoid comes with a gerund. Avoid taking any unnecessary utensils and napkins. Number 11, start making, start to make a shopping list before you go shopping. So we choose what? Both of them, because start comes with the gerund and the infinitive. Start making or start to make a shopping list before you go shopping. This will help you stop. Of course, this is an easy one. It's the gerund. Stop buying things you don't need on impulse. Number 13, keep reusing or keep to reuse your supermarket bags. I think this is an easy one also. It's stop reusing. Keep comes with the gerund, of course, your supermarket bags. Jumping here to exercise B, answer the questions with a complete sentence, then discuss your answer. Again, answer the questions with complete sentences. So you have to answer these questions with complete sentences, of course, using the gerund or the infinitive. Then discuss your answer. For example, the first one, do you think cars will stop running on gas in the near future? Do you think cars will stop running on gas in the near future? They will stop using gas, petrol in the near future. Of course, this is up to you, but you have to answer using today's grammar. So I wrote, yes, I think that in the near future, cars will stop running on gas, will stop running on gas. So, number 2, do you think people will begin to change their habits of consumption? Do you think people will begin to change? Begin to change. This is a infinitive here, an infinitive. Their habits of consumption. So, yes or no, it's up to you, but you have to answer correctly here. So, for example, I've written, yes, I think that people will begin to change their habits of consumption. Number 3, what is something you try to do every day to help the environment? What is something you try, this is the verb here, try to do. So this is the infinitive here. Every day to help the environment, something you try to do every day. What is it? For example here, every day I try to remember to recycle trash like bottles and paper bags. This is, of course, my answer. Every day I try to remember, to recycle. Or you can say, I try to recycle, for example, trash like bottles and paper bags. Number 4, what is something harmful to the environment that you want to quit doing? Something that is harmful to the environment that you want to quit. So want to quit doing. Also quit doing here. This is a gerund here. We want to quit doing. So what is something that is harmful to the environment that you want to quit doing? Anything that you are doing that you want to quit because it is harmful to the environment. For me here, I wrote, I would like to quit driving. Quit driving. Here I used the gerund with the verb quit. I would like to quit driving long distances in my car, of course, in order to save the environment. Number 5, what is something that you often forget to do? What is something that you often forget to do? Again, what is something that you often forget to do? Anything that you forget to do. For example, I've written here, I forget to bring a bag when I go to the grocery store. This is about me. I forget to bring a bag whenever I go to the grocery store. Number 6, would you ever consider growing your own vegetable garden? Would you ever consider growing? This is the gerund here. Your own vegetable garden. For me, I wrote, yes, I would consider growing my own vegetable garden. Of course, I would like to try that. Number 7, what is something you could stop buying? What is something you could stop buying? So stop, then a gerund. This is, of course, is up to you. What is something that you could stop buying? For me, I could stop buying water in bottles. I could stop buying water in bottles. Number 8, what changes do you hope to see in the environment in the next decade? What changes do you hope to see? So hope here, to see with the infinitive, in the environment in the next decade. So what is something that you hope to see that changes in the environment in the next decade? For example, for me, I wrote, in the next decade, I hope to see energy consumption, waste, and pollution reduced. I hope to see them reduced. Exercise C here, rewrite each sentence using the verbs in brackets and gerund or infinitive. Make any other necessary changes. For example, here, from now on, Jack is going to use only fluorescent light bulbs, and the verb is start. And the answer was, Jack is going to start using only fluorescent light bulbs. So again, we have to rewrite the sentence using the verb in brackets and to put it with a gerund or an infinitive. Number 1, we are going to set the air conditioner on a timer at night. And the verb is plan. So rewrite the sentence, come up with a sentence with the same idea using plan here, the verb plan. And don't forget to use gerund or infinitive. So let's check the first one's answer here. We plan to set. So it's an infinitive here. We plan to set the air conditioner on a timer at night. Very good. Number 2, I don't really read newspapers. I like reading the news online better. So there's a preference here. I don't really read newspapers. I like reading the newspaper. I like reading the news online better. And the verb here is prefer. Prefer, is it with a gerund or an infinitive? So let's see the answer here. I prefer reading. I prefer reading the news online to reading a newspaper. Very good. Number 3, Arya thinks it's a good idea to print on both sides of the paper. And the verb here is recommend. Recommend, does it come before a gerund or an infinitive? Arya thinks it's a good idea to print on both sides of the paper. So, yes, very good. So Arya recommends printing. So recommends come before the gerund. Recommends printing on both sides of the paper. Number 4, I can't believe I left the lights on again. And the verb is keep. So I can't believe, very good. I can't believe I keep leaving. So keep comes before a gerund. the lights on. Number 5, gardening is one of my favorite activities. This is an easy one actually, and the verb is enjoy. Do we say I enjoy gardening or I enjoy to garden? Yes, very good. I enjoy gardening. So enjoy comes before a gerund. Number 6, we should continue to find ways to use less energy, and the verb here is keep. Yes, this is an easy one also. We should keep finding, gerund here, ways to use less energy. We should keep finding ways to use less energy. Here's a language builder for you. With the verb prefer, we often use the structure prefer X to Y. So we use prefer to. We prefer X to Y. For example, I prefer reading to watching TV. I prefer reading to watching TV. I prefer chocolate ice cream to vanilla. In sentences 4 and 6, keep plus verb ing means to continue doing something. So when you say keep going, keep smiling, it means to continue doing this action. For example, I'm going to keep trying until I succeed. So keep trying, it means continue to try. Exercise D here, look at the picture, page 19. Write a paragraph about ways Faisal could change his habits to become more green. Use gerunds and infinitive. For example here, the first one, there are many things that Faisal can do to become more green. First of all, and then you can continue the whole to write about the picture by yourself. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.